Laura here. We are on location at Rancho Magante in the Dominican Republic today. So I'm going to move you through a yin practice for stiff, sore legs. And I actually have these today, so I'm looking forward to this. All you need is your yoga mat. You can, of course, bring some props in, but for yin, we don't always use props. If you'd like, you could have a blanket close by and a bolster or even a block. So we're going to begin just in child's pose. Just to stretch out the quads to begin and the low back a little bit here. And we'll begin by stacking the hands one on top of the other and just resting our forehead down onto our hands. And as the forehead rests down, let the eyes close and bring some more awareness to your breath. Notice how good it feels all the way up the back body. Taking that deep breath in, filling up your lungs, and then exhaling and emptying. And as you find a steady breath here, just notice how the legs are doing right now. What is the felt sensation in your legs? You might be feeling this stretch in the tops of the feet, the ankles. Might feel a little something in the knees and the quads, low back. So just see what the experience is for you. And we're just going to stay here for 2 or 3 more breaths. And in this quieter space, we can start to move into our different poses to get these nice deep stretches for the legs and the hips. And we can stay in this meditative state as we come into each pose. So we're going to begin by stepping the right foot forward. So swing it on up towards the top of your yoga mat. The arms are on the inside of your right leg. And let's begin by just shifting the weight forward and back a few times. And then we're going to settle in here into a nice deep lunge, lizard lunge. So you can crawl that left knee back a little further. This might be where you may need some extra padding underneath the back knee, so go ahead and pad up if you'd like. You could use a block or a bolster under your elbows, or you might be able to come right down onto the elbows and forearms. So once again, return to your breath. We're going to hold here for a few minutes. Noticing the sensations in the legs. It's a nice deep opening here for the front of the left hip, for the outer right hip, and hamstring. And the breath is just long and steady. Facial muscles relax. The eyes can be closed the whole time throughout the practice, or you can just have a soft gaze. We're about halfway through holding this shape, this pose. And see where else in the body you can let go and release. And take 3 or 4 more deep breaths. And as you take your next inhale, start to press up into the hands to lift the chest a little higher. Tuck your back toes under so you can scoot your back knee in a little closer and then shift the hips back to release that right leg, toes to the sky. And then come forward again, and we're going to transition into a pigeon pose with the right leg. So just shifting our shape slightly. So crawl that foot all the way over to the left edge of your yoga mat and then lower your shin down. You can readjust your hips a little bit here. So the closer in you have your heel to your body, the less intense it's going to feel in the outer hip. And the further away you have it, the deeper the stretch will be. So just find your little heat gauge here, whatever you need. I'm going to bring mine in just a little bit because I am pretty stiff today. Inhale deeply as you lift through the chest, and then as you exhale, just crawl your way down. We'll come right down into our pigeon. This is such a good way to get into the hips if you have tight hips. It's a great stretch for the piriformis muscle, hip flexor. Just gently bring the attention back to the breath as you continue to release and relax every part of your body into this shape. And with these yin stretches, we spend more time in each pose, so you definitely have time to move deeper into each pose. So you can always readjust your body, your shape a little bit. We're about halfway through, so I might just actually help my heel away a little bit further, just to kick that intensity up a little bit more. And then right back to the breath. And try to bring a little bit of attention to your hips and just make sure you're not completely leaning off to one side. Sometimes the tendency can be to lean into the right side, and we want to more or less keep our hips pretty level here. Okay, excellent. On your next inhale, we're going to start to lift the chest, crawl back out, tuck our back toes under, walk the back knee in a little bit, and then you can just swing that right foot back behind you and slide the knee back into tabletop pose. Oh, and that feels good. Just give the hips a little circle, and then we'll work into the other side. Okay, let's bring the left foot forward. Slide the right knee back. Inhale deeply, exhale, start to lower down if you can onto the elbows, forearms, or if you're using a prop, use that underneath your elbows. Might be a little different on this side, a little more open, possibly a little tighter. Go with the flow. Long and steady breath as you release through the legs, through the hips, the low back. Releasing any tension in the face, in the jaw, in the neck. Two more breaths here. All right, press up into the hands. Let's bring that back knee in just a little, and then we can heel toe. Oh, actually, sorry, I just about forgot. Let's take the hips back and first just stretch out the left leg. There we go. That feels good. And then we can shift the weight forward again and start to heel toe our left foot across the mat. Forward pigeon on the other side. Lower that shin down, maybe bring your heel in a little closer. And then lower down onto the elbows. Remember, the hips are nice and level here. Close your eyes. You can even create a little head rest here with your thumbs, creating a little bit of pressure between the eyebrows. A little bit longer to go. If you want to deepen your stretch, remember you can move your heel away from your body a little bit more and then settle back in. And take one or two more deep breaths here. Okay, we can start to climb on out of this side. Walk your back knee in. And slide the left foot back, knee back into tabletop pose. Let's just do a few hip circles again in each direction. That will feel good to just counter stretch and release. Okay, good. So we're gonna come down onto our bottom, swing the legs around in front of us, and just extend our legs right out in front, getting into the hamstrings here. So the feet are gently flexed, and you can actually pull a little bit of flesh out. If you do have a really tight low back, this is a nice place to prop the hips up a little bit higher. So if you can, just roll a towel or sit on the edge of your bolster to elevate the hips just slightly. Another option is to have some support under the knees if the hamstrings are incredibly tight. Or just take a little bend into the knees, which is what I will do. So let's take an inhale, lift through the chest. And as you exhale, you'll start to fold forward over the legs. Begin by just keeping your spine nice and extended here. Tall spine, chest and heart open. And then we can begin to release a little more, so allowing the spine to start to round as you lower towards your legs, allowing the forehead to drop down. And now just let everything go. Okay, relax the whole body. For some of you, you might be able to reach your ankles. You might be able to actually wrap your hands around the feet, and that can be helpful to keep you in your deeper stretch. It can be helpful to help you deepen the stretch. Take 2 or 3 more breaths wherever you are in your forward fold. And then very slowly start to walk your hands in, curl up through the spine. Take a moment just to pause up here with the head over the heart over the hips. And then we're just gonna scoot our hips forward so we can lie down onto our yoga mat. And as you come down, bring your knees into your chest. And just give yourself a little rock side to side, massaging out the low back, pulling thighs in over the belly. And from here, we're gonna move into happy baby pose. So you can feel a little more in the inner thighs and hamstrings once again. So reaching up for the outer calf, ankle, or the edges of the feet, taking the knees wide and drawing the knees down to either side of the chest here. Soles of the feet to the sky or the ceiling, wherever you are. Shoulder blades down, the back of the head is heavy and relaxed, chest and heart open. So for the next few breaths, we're going to extend one leg at a time. So we can bring the left heel in towards the body as we kick out through the right heel, getting longer through that right leg like a half straddle stretch, and then just switch. So right heel in, left leg extends. We have all the sounds of nature with us today, all the birds. There are little puppies here on the beach. Sound of the waves and the wind in the palm trees. And just even out, make sure you've sort of stretched out each leg evenly, even amount of times. And then place the soles of the feet down onto your mat and arms by your side. And we're just gonna press down into the feet and take bridge pose a few times just to stretch through the front of the quads, the hip flexors. Feel the weight roll back into the shoulder blades. Take a deep breath in here and then lower down. And we'll do that just once more. Inhale. Hold it up as you breathe out. Inhale. And exhale. Lower down. Excellent. And just extend your legs down to the bottom of your mat. Let the legs stretch out and release completely. Hopefully feeling a little more open, a little more stretched out here. Notice the felt sensation in the body. Notice the right leg, the left leg, both legs together. The next breath in, we can soften the knees and just roll towards one side to press up. Maybe give your legs a little squeeze, little love squeeze. Some self-massage. And there we have it. Yin for stiff, sore legs. I hope you're feeling better on your lower half. And join us again soon. Thank you. Hey everyone, thank you so much for being here. If you're enjoying what we're sharing, please give us a like, and you can also subscribe to this channel below.
And if you want to follow us along on this journey, you can find us at kin.co or on Instagram at kinsite.